current you is chronically frustrated because he never listens or changes when you tell him his behavior is bothering you, always ending up in a screaming match when you're upset about something. Feeling really hurt inside, but expressing it as anger or criticism. Freezing him out in hopes that he finally gets the message that you're upset with him. Confused about when to open up about certain things and when to just stay quiet. The you after this video is a master at nonverbal communication, turning up your seduction factor when speaking with anyone, maintaining a stable blood pressure because you're no longer yelling or screaming as your main method of communication, feeling calm and peaceful in situations where you might feel unheard or unseen because you now have the tools to communicate effectively in a way that gets people to actually listen, and is equipped with all the information to get him to do anything you want. In this video, I am going to teach you 4 critical steps to mastering feminine communication and how to use it to change the quality of your interactions and relationships. Here is an overview of today's video outline, and make sure you stay till the end of the video so that you can get a complete breakdown of key insights from everything that we talk about today and your specific to-do list to apply everything we talk about today. Mastering feminine communication is an integral part of feminine energy embodiment. When we activate our feminine energy, we are taking on an oath of softness, peace, and tranquility. But rarely is anyone talking about how to merge that softness into our communication. Because women have been conditioned into thinking that we must yell, demand, or scream as a means to get what we want. But alas, there is an alternative that I'm going to share in this video that will actually get you what you want, that will actually have people hearing you and understanding you. If you even have to ask, on this video or on any other video,
well, he does this thing and I really hate it, how do I bring it up?
Or before you go into victim mode saying,
well, I've tried that and it doesn't work, and why do I have to stroke his ego, and why do I have to do this?
Like straight off the bat, I know that you're coming in hot with nagging, demanding, and hostile energy. You need to learn how to nurture and support the behaviors that you want to see in your partner, in a man that you're dating. If it's coming off as an attack, it will not be received. If it's something that is truly bothering you, if it's something that you hate and you have to write comments on other people's videos, if you hate it that much where you're spending your time and your juicy energy writing comments on people's videos trying to get their advice, then you have to simply decide that this is not working and you gotta peace out. You gotta pack up your stuff. In this video, I say that if your man is not treating you with princess treatment, if he is not listening to you or hearing you when you say certain things are bothering you and you get change here and there and then it falls off and then you have to keep repeating the thing that's bothering you, he is not worth it and he is not going to be the man that you want him to be. Stop staying for potential and leave and go find a man that you don't have to teach or beg or nag into doing the things that you want him to do and into being a man. Learn the signs early on and go find a man that the things I'm about to talk about in this video will actually work on. Step number 1, stop demanding answers, start expressing feelings. Demanding looks like this. You're so annoying. Like, how many times have I had to tell you that I want you to plan dates, but yet you still don't plan any dates? Like, is what I'm saying getting through to you? I'm very over this. Are you going to plan dates, yes or no? This type of communication never works in any relationship because it incites an innate reaction in somebody that is defensive. It automatically puts somebody into defense mode because you have come from a hostile place. If something is bothering you, instead do this. Express your feelings. There's a 5-part formula that can be used over and over again. It's almost like a plug-and-play formula that can be used in any situation with any person, whatever you're dealing with conflict-wise, this formula can be used. The first part of the statement is I versus you. Using I language versus using you language is the key differentiator between expressing and demanding. Saying I feel this way versus saying you make me feel this way. Second part of the statement, appreciation and acknowledgement. Before you get your panties in a bunch and say, why do I have to coddle his ego? Why do I have to tell him that he's doing something good even though he's not? I'm the one that's upset. Listen, if you're not willing to learn how to approach people, situations, things in a responsive manner, and all you want to do is just react, then you need to go watch this video first. Appreciation and acknowledgement is a key part of the formula to putting the defenses down before you even come in with what you're about to say. Immediately telling somebody what they're doing wrong, why they're awful, why they suck, and why you are so unhappy is extremely unhelpful. And I know this because back in the day, my communication was very sharp, it was very curt, and it was very it was very pointed outward. It was never inward communication, which means I'm sharing how I am feeling in this moment, and I'm not putting blame on how you are making me feel. Even though their actions are upsetting to me, it's still coming from me. It's still a me problem because I am reacting this way, because I am feeling this way, and all I have to do is express that. So back in the day, I was not good at that, and it made all my relationships and interactions very unequal. By that I mean, when you outline what somebody is doing wrong, it makes them feel inferior to you, like you are above them and they are below you. And then it creates this fear around the relationship, which enables this freeze-like response in that person. You fire at them what they're doing wrong, you're expecting them to hear you and then change accordingly, but instead, you've just made them feel like crap, and now their trauma response of reacting to that kind of hostile energy is kicking in, making them unable to process, hear, and actually digest what you've said and the change that you want to see. So, appreciate what they're doing right. It's simple, positive reinforcement. Acknowledge something that they're already doing that makes you feel good. Just because you are feeling some type of way about a specific action they're doing or specific behavior they're doing doesn't negate every other good thing that they do or every other good feeling that they give you. So we want to make sure that we are reinforcing that when we're coming in hot with what we're about to say. The third part of the statement is stating how you feel. I feel versus you make me feel. I feel hurt. I feel upset. I feel unheard. Not you're always hurting me. You're always making me feel unheard. You're never listening to me. Hear the difference? That one word makes a huge impact on how somebody receives what you're saying. The fourth part of the statement is specificity. Be specific. So many women are vague, general. You don't love me. You make me feel unloved. You make me feel unheard. It's very ambiguous. We need to be specific. What specifically is happening that is making you feel this way? Men hate ambiguous language because it doesn't give them a clear starting point for change. If you are bringing them the problem, they are needing to create the solution, but they can't create a solution for your problem if they don't even know or understand what the problem is. Specificity looks like this. I feel unappreciated when I spend time cooking your favorite meal and having it ready for you by the time you get home from work, and then all you want to do is eat that meal in front of the TV and not really talk. Or, I feel disconnected from you when we don't schedule in those weekly date nights. That is specific language. Telling him exactly how you feel and the exact context in which you feel it. If he's a good man, he will make immediate improvement because now he has a clear starting point. You've told him exactly what's going on, how you feel, and now he's about to step it up. And the fifth part of the formula is, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Open up the conversation for him to have an input. Like I said, you're bringing him the problem. You are looking for a solution. So asking him, what are your thoughts? What do you think? Is going to inspire his masculinity for him to now come up with a solution. Because now you're bringing him into the conversation. You're bringing him into the problem. So here is an example of the formula put together. Hey babe, I love that you're just so dedicated to your work and you still take time to check in with me daily, and I love that consistency about you. But I feel so much more connected to you when we spend time in person. What do you think? That's example number one. Example number two. Hi baby, you're so thoughtful and always doing cute little things to make me smile. But it makes me upset that we don't often go on date nights. I feel so much closer to you when we spend a dedicated night in connecting and talking without any other distractions. What are your thoughts? Feminine communication is very feeling oriented because a feminine woman is predominantly in her body. She is expressing herself through how she feels in her body and not in her head. I have struggled with this and I continue to struggle with this because it's a very real problem. Sometimes when we've been in our masculine energy for so long long and we've had to do a lot of thinking and processing, it's hard for us to get out of our head and into our body. So what I have personally found to be transformative in getting out of my head and into my body is connecting with my feelings and my body on my own time. So first, do it with yourself. Ask yourself how you're feeling. Ask yourself, how are you feeling in a certain moment? If something happens, how did that make me feel? How are you feeling, body? And treating your body as literally a child. I like to treat my head and my body as children. The body is more of the complex child that is more sensitive and requires more sensitive conversations and like tenderness. And the mind is more of the straight and narrow kid who just knows what they're doing. It's not a very complicated relationships. It's kind of straight, direct, and forward. So in order to connect with a man authentically through your body, connect with yourself that way first. So now once you've constructed the feeling statement that you're going to address him with, have the conversation, and then observe the actions. This is the second part. You come up with your feeling statement, you have the conversation, you express yourself, and then part 2 is observing the actions, observing changed behavior. So you say, I'm feeling X, Y, and Z. He responds, no problem, baby, I got you. Like, I'm gonna change, don't worry. You take that answer as face value, like, okay, and then you just observe. Is the behavior changing? Is it being consistent? Is it changing for a week and then going right back? These are things that you have to observe, and then you use your discretion and you make a decision that is beneficial for your life and the kind of relationship that you're looking for. I cannot express the importance of discretion. You cannot get mad at a man for exhibiting behavior that you don't like, staying with him and just being silently resentful. You are never going to get what you want, and you are never going to be the dream girl. Stop trying to change people. Express your needs, express how you're feeling, and then observe the urgency in his behavior. Is he changing on his own accord? Observe that. Ultimately, this is not about a manipulation tactic to coerce a man into changing behavior here and there. It's about refining your communication skills as a woman. Doing your part, which is learning this, doesn't ensure that his behavior will change. Just as if he brought a problem to you, he's doing his part by bringing it up to you. But that bringing it up to you isn't ensuring that you're going to change. You will change if you want to change. So do your part and just keep it moving. Step number 2, communicating in the early stages of dating versus long term. Like I just mentioned, in the early stages of dating, it is vital that you listen, observe, and gather intel. This phase, 0 to 3 months of dating, is all about taking silent notes. As you transition past the 3-month mark, you can say things like, I feel really special when you buy me flowers. But in the beginning, from like 0 to 3 months, you just need to be on your Sherlock Holmes game. You are just gathering info and seeing what kind of man this is, who you're working with, letting his true colors shine. Does he plan nice dates without you coercing him? Is he buying you flowers? What is he doing without you giving him any iteration of what you look for in a man, what your standards are? You are never ever going to be demanding anything from anyone, period, but especially in the beginning stages of dating. Sure, you want to open his car door when he's picking you up for a date and have a beautiful bouquet of flowers sitting on the car seat. You want him to take you to nice, fancy restaurants. You want to get all glammed and have a surprise date. However, it would come off as super entitled and super demanding for you to look that man dead in the eyes on a first date, on a second date, on a third date. Well, I expect flowers every single week. I expect really fancy dates. I expect you to do this, and this. And if you can't fulfill those needs, then you just need to let me know right now, because I don't really want to waste my time anymore. That is icky, and it gives off vibes of like, I have never been treated nice by a guy before. I just got broken up with. He cheated on me and he was awful. And now I'm in my villain era and I know who I am, and I'm about to go demand all of these high standards that I now all of a sudden have. It just screams, I have never been treated good by a man before. And they're going to feel like they've just been given a job description and they're literally applying for a job and you are the employer. See that inferior, superior imbalance? What you would say instead down the line is, I love being taken care of by a man and I love getting spoiled by a man. Stating in a general way, in a vague way, not that you want that from him specifically, but that is just what you like in your life, in your relationships. Now, I went over all of this this in another video that you can watch right here, so I'm not going to get too deep into it. But all you have to do is just see if this man is the type of man that is going to give you the type of relationship that you want by observing him. When you say things like, I love being taken care of by a man and being spoiled, that is either going to be a statement a man can fulfill, and he's going to feel like, okay, like this is kind of my woman. Like I also take pride in treating a woman really nicely, so this might work out. Or it's going to be a red flag. Either way, you're winning. You're on the winning team. Step number 3, nonverbal communication. Creating a sexy and indulgent experience for people that come into your presence comes down to nonverbal communication. There's 5 basics, and then at the end, we're gonna put it all together. Step number 1, eye contact. There are 3 different variations of eye contact that you will use in order to charm somebody at different levels or different stages, depending on what kind of interaction you're having. The first one is walking into a room. Either it's meeting a date, it's going into a room and meeting a really cute guy and spotting him, whatever, you decide the situation, but this is what you're gonna do. You walk into the room, you see your date, you see a really cute guy, and you look at them for 3 seconds, you make eye contact for 3 seconds, and then you smile. So you're looking at the person first with eye contact, but a blank stare, not like a creepy blank stare. This makes people feel special. It makes them feel like, wow, that smile was just for me. And she's making eye contact, but she's not really giving me anything. And then, oh wait, a smile pops up. Okay, now I feel really special. The second variation is when you're trying to be bold and you see a really cute guy, you don't know him, you don't know anything about him, you just see him walking down the street, something like that. You are going to do this. This is going to help you give him the green light in order to open up like, okay, she's given me the green light, I can go talk to her. Because in this day and age, a lot of men are very scared to approach women. We have to give them the green light. And the third variation is when you're on a date. You're in a conversation, you're trying to turn up the seduction levels. What you're gonna do is you're gonna wait for the person to be really lit up or passionate about whatever they're talking about and them just kind of like going on some sort of tangent. And you're going to do the triangle trick. So you start at the left eye, you hold for 3 seconds. The sweet spot is 2 to 3 seconds at each zone, starting at the left eye, moving down to the mouth, and then moving up to the right eye. And then kind of repeating that process intermittently as you go through the conversation. You don't want to just be like this. You're going to look a little bit deranged. Number 2 is leaned in body language. So you always want to be open, not like this, right? Like if you're having a conversation with somebody and you're just like this, like, does it look cute? No, it doesn't look cute. So you want to open up, you want to do this, just lean in. Yeah. The rule that I like to go by is pointing my belly button toward their belly button. You're going to open up your language and turn toward them and face them. This indicates very open and receptive energy that subconsciously indicates to people that you're open and ready for a conversation with them. Number 3, posture, super basic. Like I just said, up tall, chin up, open up, not reclused, not closed off, not fiddling with your hands and your thing and like doing all of this. No, keep it calm, keep it cool, keep it cute. And if you're going to have your hands somewhere, they should be here at the center or below. Never up here or like closed off, because we want to make sure that our heart chakra is emitting the energy. And if we're doing this, it's like closing us off, and it's just very subconscious energy and movements that people pick up on, like, okay, she's kind of closed off and guarded. And we don't want that. We want open and we want receptive. Number 4, soft, graceful, and poised movements. So many women are rushing around, running around, busting it everywhere, you know, hair's disheveled. They're running into a date and they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm so late. And they're like all frazzled. No, walk into that date even if you're late, or wherever you're going, whatever it is. If you're late going somewhere and you're all frazzled about it, just get into the mental energy of like, no, I'm on time, and just pretend that you're on time and walk into situations with the energy of, I am 5 minutes early even. Like, I'm chilled, I'm cool, I'm just walking in. Slow, steady, and poised. Number 5, engage your senses, okay? So I've got this cup of tea. I'm just so excited to drink it. It tastes so good. It's so warm. It's making me feel so warm. If you're on a date and dessert comes, eat that dessert very luxuriously and just like, this tastes so good. If there's a fresh bouquet of flowers, my God, these flowers smell amazing. This is a feminine key. You're in a conversation and you know the person, lightly stroke their arm, like, oh, you're so funny, and oh my God, I totally get you. Making those bodily connections that are not intimate at all, but feel very intimate, engaging your senses, game changer. Step number 4, verbal communication. These are just very basic, but like talking slower, talking softer, listening more, and talking less. Obviously talking at appropriate times, not just like being a dud and like having nothing to say. There's a time and a place for everything, but mostly 80% listening and asking questions. And a huge key is treat your man like your man. Your man is not your girlfriend. He doesn't need to hear the ups and downs, the woes and the hardships of your day and how this went wrong and how your makeup spilled everywhere. We have girlfriends for a reason, and we need to connect with our man as if he's a man and learning how to do that versus connecting with him and treating him like he's our best friend and our girlfriend. Yes, our man can be our best friend, but men don't really want to hear about all the little nuances of our day because it's just irrelevant to them in their day. It's very relevant to us women. Trust me, I go on tangents with my dad sometimes and he's like, versus when I go on tangents with my mom, she'll be like, I know how you feel, I got you, blah, blah, blah. It's just very different energy, and it's a very different way of communicating with genders, with a woman versus with a male. And you have to learn the differentiating factors, and that way you will have a more stable relationship with a man. I do want to say that don't feel hard on yourself if you feel like this isn't at all how you react, or you kind of know a couple of things and you do them, but the other stuff you're really bad at, and you might feel like you can't do this communication with everyone. This type of communication is so much easier with a man because you're enticing that seduction and that seductive energy. You are not going to be able to communicate like this with a relative or with a friend because it's platonic. I would feel so stupid doing half of this stuff with a friend or with a relative because we're not trying to seduce or be seductive with them. This type of communication can be used with every relationship, but in some relationships you're going to take some away and you're going to add some. It depends on who you're talking to. I would use soft, responsive, feeling-based language with everybody, but I would do the more leaned in, eye contact, variation, those types of tricks with men, with only people that I'm interested in romantically. You get me? Now, ready to put it all into action? Here's your to-do list. And the link to the free shared documents of video notes for a detailed summary of today's video will be linked at the pinned comments down below. And if you're looking for a high value man who's going to treat you like a princess, go watch this video next.